Hello everyone. Welcome to one and all to the second episode of IMT CDL Alumni Achievers Speak Show today. IMT CDL since past 3 decades has been instrumental in carving the career of its students and enabling them to reach newer heights in their profession. IMT CDL takes pride in 30,000 alumni and recognize their achievement and contributions to the industry and society. The institute regularly organizes various alumni events, alumni connect activities to ensure that alumni are able to connect with each other, share their experiences, and contribute to the growth and development of the society. IMT-CDL recognizes the achievers, so they confer distinguished alumni awards to honor our alumni who have made a mark in the society and the corporate world. Alumni are encouraged to nominate themselves for these awards, and a jury is constituted to shortlist the nominations, see through their candidature, see through their presentations, and finally give them their due. We have been giving the awards in the various areas of social service as well as entrepreneurship. We also recognize the corporate excellence contributed by our alumni in the various areas of marketing, finance, HR, operations, technology, etc. To know more about the exemplary contributions made our alumni awardees, we inspire our alumni to come and be a part of our Alumni Achievers series today. For today's talk, I have with me Mr. Tanwir Alam. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Tanwir Alam, who has been conferred the Entrepreneurship Award in Alumni Meet 2023. Mr. Alam gave life to his entrepreneurial venture Fincart through his consistent effort. Fincart operates in a highly competitive market of financial planning and investment advisory. Mr. Tanwir developed a sustainable hybrid business model by integrating people with technology. His entrepreneurial efforts in the last decade not only built a steady flow of revenues and profit but also created a substantial social impact. Fincart has grown phenomenally at a CAGR of above 95% over the past 10 years. Tanvir, can you tell us something about your company?
Great. I think as thank you so much. At the outset, I would like to thank IMT CDL for having me here and confirming me and appreciating the work that we have done. So Fincart was born with the idea of helping people manage their money better. Okay. So our core purpose is to help people achieve their life financial goals, and that's how actually we started the company. Now, our approach to actually helping people manage their money is a little different. Unlike the conventional brick and mortar model where people come and they are sold a particular product, we work like a doctor. We first understand the client's requirement, develop a financial plan for them, and based on the suitability of the financial plan, recommend the best suited investment product that confidently would help the end user achieve their life financial goals. And that is the motive. Having said that, we had a core belief that we will never ever wrongly sell a product. Okay. So when we actually studied the business model, we realized that the physical brick and mortar model of giving investment advice over the table was the root cause of all mis-selling. And that is when we actually tried it to create an experiment, a different delivery model. So when we started, there were two model of delivering investment advice. One was the physical brick and mortar. On the other hand, you had the robo advisory services. And robo advisory, we realized the average ticket size was too low when we started. Digital adoption was actually low. Financial awareness in the country was low, and hence it had its own set of challenges. The physical brick and mortar was not an efficient model, and that led to mis-selling. So we were the first one to actually start delivering financial planning and investment advisory over phone, where every transaction, everything was automated. So we leverage technology and human interface to deliver the investment advice. And that in 2013 was any unheard of, and it took us some time when people started appreciating the quality of advice that we were giving, and then it became easy for us.
True, absolutely true. While listening to you, two words which immediately struck into my mind when it is like a doctor's job. Absolutely true. In this financial entire industry, like there have been lots and lots of challenges which have been there, and definitely like your perception and thinking that like we are like a doctor to a particular client, that itself create a sort of a trust. The doctors, when a person goes to a doctor, he actually looking forward, he has got some trust, then only he goes through there.
True.
Okay, so how were you able to develop this trust, like when definitely you are doing the advisory services on a telephone and people are not able to see you physically? There would have been a lot of challenges in front of you.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of challenges, but I actually believe that when you are doing things which is in the interest of the end user and customer and client, they will read through you, they will understand you. See, it is easy to fool anybody once, but you cannot fool them every time.
Every time.
Okay, so when you talk sense that we have started this virtual advisory business keeping your interest in mind, because we want to keep the cost low, and if we keep the cost low, it is going to help us sell the right set of product without focusing much on our revenue and existence. People wanted to believe us, and then what we did, we actually to endorse and take it one step forward, we were the first company in the country to record that conversation and share the audio link with the client. This was our way of trying to build trust. And you won't believe that over a period of time, when we wanted to raise fund and invest the money to build technology, I didn't have to go anywhere. It was my clients who actually invested in Fincart's share, and they are a shareholder today.
Oh, wow, that's great. So that is a wonderful trust that has been you have been able to create. You know, Tanvir is a budding entrepreneur who spent 18 meaningful years in the financial services profession. He was a corporate person. He was heading IDFC Mutual Fund as a director and head of the retail sales. So again, you are into an established area. Tanvir, you have been working across excellently. So what prompted you actually to leave that job and then coming back into this zone?
Actually, a very interesting question. In fact, when I wanted to quit, my wife said, "You are in among India's 1% who have this kind of a job and this kind of a pay. We have all the luxuries. Why do you want to rock this Apple card and change everything?" I said, "Yeah, I have been in this company for 12 years, and it's been 18 years I've been working. So actually, I want to create an impact in people's life. सिर्फ पैसे कमाना ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं होना चाहिए इंसान की लाइफ में." सो then I took the plunge actually of starting the own business, and I've been toying around this business idea for a long time. Now, working with IDFC Mutual Fund as head of retail sales enabled me to talk to various distributors across the country, various mutual fund players, and understand the difference model. And that is where I learned that the business model that was established way back post independence, when US 64 or when LIC came, that model did not change. Okay, and it was time to change the business model, because post 2009 the remuneration in mutual fund had dropped significantly. To ensure that you in line with that lower payout, you have to ensure that the cost has to be curtailed or maintained well. And that's why we actually got into the virtual advisory, to Now, coming back to what led to me to my business venture here is that my innate desire to add value in people's life and make a positive impact in their life, and that is how we actually carved out the core purpose of our company, which is what we call is why do we exist. We exist to help people achieve their life financial goal. That's the core purpose.
True. As a person, while I was reading across your profile, the two colors that you have mentioned, you are a mix of blue and green color. So, can you explain how this is?
Okay, this I teach to my a team member when they are managing clients. So each see, uh, each one of has all the four dominant personalities, which are depicted by red, yellow, green, blue. Blue is more number oriented, which is analytical. Green is more people oriented. Okay, that's, and then you have red who say just do it now, and
Mhm.
yellow is a more creative people. So I am more of a analytical person. I love number, I love logical reasoning, and I can think through any problem in a very sequential manner. That's my blue type of personality. Green, I'm a people's person. I like to work with people, I empower them, and that has been the core reason why we have been work this company, and we are successful over the last 10 years. So when I started, and I use this line uh, uh, very recently when I was talking to my team. जाने पे मंजिल मगर मैं अकेला ही चला था, लोग मिलते गए और कारवां
But
बनता है.
yeah,
So basically
absolutely true.
what has happened is, when as an entrepreneur you start a journey alone with a particular vision in mind, that green personality, people's personality of actually trying to educate, empower them, enable them, so that they can be your torch bearers, okay, and they can take the company forward. I have been blessed because most of my core people who directly report to me are either 10 years, 5 years, 7 years working with me consistently. So the reason I have actually been able to do that, because this is also a value of the company, which and my core holding company's name 3 Advisors Private Limited. 3 stands for educate, empower, and enable. So we love to educate people, empower them to take decisions. And one very important factor that what we have done in our company is that we have said it's okay to make mistakes.
Oh
It's
yes,
okay to fail,
true.
but do not repeat that mistake. Learn from mistake and move forward. So
Move
that's
forward.
empowering them, and we have enabled them with enough resources so that they can take decisions. So that has helped me to take the company forward. Today it's not only my vision, it's, I would say, it's our vision. It's become our
Oh,
vision. We got core people in the team who is running this company now.
true, absolutely true. This is a great learning, about the colors and how we are associating them with our personality. I'm pretty sure our audiences are really going to have a good takeaway from this our interaction. You know, whenever we are talking about again little bit about the financial market, and then uh, as a team leader, you know like there are going to be lot many like issues which might be cropping in your day to day operations, and when as a team you look forward towards people look forward towards you. So in that case, how do you really motivate them? How do you ensure that they stay together as a team? That too in this turbulent market, sometimes things are positive, sometimes going negative, and a lot of sentiment plays the role. So how do you keep their morale high?
So basically, first of all, at the end of the day, when you start your business, you have to showcase them that what is the big goal or the vision that you're chasing. And if that big goal or vision becomes successful, how is it going to change people's life? Not externally, client, internally, our employees also. How is it going to change everybody's life? Once you are able to successfully communicate that, then the uh, next job is to making them believe that it's possible.
Yes.
Okay, and when people believe that that certain goal or aspiration is possible, they become motivated. So what I have learned over a period of time, and this I have learned from some cricketer. So I was doing some show when I was talking to Navjot Sidhu
Okay.
at the company. Fincart did some show and we are part of that. So he said when we are playing a 5 day match, we don't look at 5 day, or we are looking at 50, or we don't look at 50 match. So we break that 5 day into say a pre tea session, pre lunch session, post lunch session, or a 10 50 match, like a first 10 next 10 and then that way. So what I did not intimidate my team by giving them the furthest goal. I gave them, okay, next 3 years what we will do. This is what we do, and if we do that, this is what is going to change your life. And then the first 3 year when we achieved that, we overachieved that. That made them believe, okay, this is possible. Then next 3 years we set up a milestone. Then they achieved the again goal. They actually became very motivated to achieve this. Now it has become kind of a belief system that whatever we are thinking, we are able to achieve that. Now they have set up a goal. Now they themselves have come and set up the next 3 years what we are going to do.
Yes.
So that's the beauty of empowering the team and making them believe that this is possible. So we have broken down our journey in step mine and phase wise. So my company's growth is segregated into phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3.
Okay, that's great. So again, like keeping your heads high and looking towards a larger picture, and then gradually picking up the small steps, you can say a baby steps, and moving towards your final goal. I think that's why you have been able to continuously have 90% and above growth for last 10 years. Great. Uh, how do you like see across your experience at IMT CDL made into your personality and into your entire thought process?
A very good question. In fact, see, when I was managing as a director, head of retail sales, I was out and out more of a sales guy. Okay. Then when I played the role of a director, head of retail sales, I actually got a good chance of running more like a business. Okay. So I had my own marketing budget. I was part of management committee. So all those things gave me a good exposure and started building a little bit on the entrepreneurship side. But when I actually started my business in 2013, I realized that there are a lot of other jigsaw puzzle that if I actually master, it will help me to build the business more successfully. So for example, managing cash flow, okay, finances, it's extremely important. So when you're working for a large organization, your HR is taken by somebody else, marketing is taken care by somebody else, your cash flow finance is taken by somebody else, the operation is done by them. So you have a slight overview, but you don't have a detailed understanding of those. So I thought of empowering myself by acquiring these management skill sets, and that is where IMT CDL came into play. And when I enrolled, I actually learned a lot of on those side, and actually it helped me to run the business more in a process oriented way compared to otherwise what I would have done.
True. This is what you rightly pointed out. The transitioning from a corporate to the as an entrepreneur.
Sure.
In a corporate, definitely there are hundreds of people who are there along with you. They are going to dedicate a team. Now you are the one who's doing everything.
Everything, yes.
You are the HR head, you are the marketing head, you are the finance head, and there are multiple caps that you're going to wear across at different points of time.
I'm just going to add a little bit. It was a shocker to be very in the first time. I was working in IDFC and I was based out of Mumbai, and the building is called One India Bulls. Okay, that was my office, and it's like a 5-star hotel. The
Okay.
office is such. You have a cafeteria. I've got beautiful offices. When I started my company, that was my learning that you can't blow out your resources and money. So I had to compromise. And when I started the building, it was very small office, which is about 350 square feet office. Then I realized where I've come, and there were a couple of days. Actually, I had to sack that office by. There was a number of days, and okay, as an entrepreneur, I used to be first one in the office and leave the last one.
Last
I was
one,
like
true.
that. The life was very tough. And then many a time when I entered, opened the office, this office boy did not turn up. So I had to sweep the floor also. I mean, That's his life. So it was so difficult. So entrepreneurship has taught me a lot.
Taught you. Absolutely
Yes.
true. Entrepreneurship is 24 by 7, 365 days a week.
Yeah,
You know.
365 days a year in a way. Yeah.
True, and definitely managing the time and the family, it becomes a challenge. So, any tips to our budding entrepreneurs that how they're going to manage this, because there is going to be a mindset which happens, right?
Before you actually get onto an entrepreneurship journey, I would say first thing is that you have to get your mindset right. My belief, a lot of people I have seen my friends talk about कि यार corporate life में बहुत हो गया, बहुत काम कर लिया, I want to get an entrepreneur. It's absolutely a myth. आपने इनफैक्ट इन द लास्ट 10 years जो मैंने काम किया और उसके पहले 18 साल का कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ था, in the last 10 years I would have worked at least 5 times more than what I have worked in the last 18 years. Okay, so entrepreneurship will come with its own challenges and it will have its own trade-off, and I would like to thank my family for that. To be very honest, in my growing years of my kids, I was not there with them in a way. Okay, and that's the trade-off that I had to choose, because you have put so much at stake. You're not only your financially, your money, your career, everything at stake, and you have no choice but to make it happen. Okay, so then it requires more than your 100% effort that requires. So if you are clear about your vision, where you want to go, you have to give your 100% to it, to ensure with that dedication, committed every day, coming with the same positive energy and waking up in the morning and raring to go. It requires a lot of grit and energy to do that. That is where your mindset comes into play. If you are okay to do the same boring thing day in day on with the same level of passion, then you are cut out for entrepreneurship.
Yes, absolutely true. People always see the success, but the kind of the effort which goes on, the kind of sacrifice which goes on, normally it goes unnoticed. Because once you become a leading person, then everybody like sees to it, oh, this is what he have achieved, कि इसने इतना कुछ कर लिया है ना. बट वो करने के पीछे जो भी एफर्ट लगे हैं, that only that particular person knows. Absolutely true. uh, Tanvi, now since you are getting into as a CEO and running a company itself, do you remember your school days? Any incident you'd like to share across where you feel like this is something interesting that you've had? Few of your friends who have taught you something, few of your teachers of your school time.
Okay, I have a very fond memory of a couple of my uh, teachers, and I was a sports enthusiast. So I played for soccer, I played cricket. So two teachers who have had a very positive impact on my life was one of my was Hindi teacher. In fact, I never studied Hindi, but I hats off to him. And what he said one thing, and he was tall and he was very well built. He was almost about retiring age, and that time also used to stand erect, and many a times he used to come to us from behind and hit us from behind. It's why you're hunching. Okay, you stood straight. Then one day I asked him, sir, आप कैसे ऐसे strong ऐसे खड़े रहते हैं? He said कि देखो बेटे, anything that can stop you from achieving greatness is your health. So that was a very powerful lesson that I heard. I said, okay, that's very important. Then two is was my sports teacher. He was a soccer player, and I remember one day in one of the small school matches I was playing as soccer. I was like as an enthusiast. I was dribbling. I'm moving alone, and I scored also a goal. But he was terribly upset with me because he thought I was being selfish there. And he said, if this was a game, if it was not an 11-member game, there would have been a 1-member game. So I learned my lesson, and I remember we were champions that year, inter-Catholic football championship, and we beat Don Bosco Park School. I was from Calcutta in the finals, and it was near the goal post when I had the ball, but I saw my other partner and goalkeeper was just about to dive on my side, and my other partner teammate was standing on the side open in the open net. So when I passed the ball, instead of me scoring, I passed the ball to him and he scored the goal, and that was a winning goal that we scored. And after the match, that teacher came and hugged me and said, "This is what soccer is all about." So that taught me about team game, and today till today I feel that team is more important than your own individual self. Okay, and at individually you can only achieve a limited part. So, and it is very well also said by Mr. Zig Ziglar, you don't build a company, you build your team, and then the team builds the company.
That absolutely true. Absolutely true. No. These are the valuable lessons that we learn, and unknowingly they get into our personality, and gradually somewhere down the line they actually come out, and then we understand that this is something that we have learned through our education, through our interaction with our teachers and friends and the peer groups. Then we putting again like emphasis onto the skill part, like team building is one of them. Like what all skills that you feel like which are very integral, both for the entrepreneur also as well as for the corporate life also, since we have seen the both aspects. What are the skills that you would like to suggest to our audiences, like they need to put emphasis on them?
Okay, I think times have changed. In fact, I remember my father-in-law. He completed his engineering, joined a job, and he retired from there. I've seen my brother-in-law. He works with ONGC. He's an engineer, and he now will retire from the same company. But in today's time, times has changed. Technology and it's so fast changing the ecosystem, the way you do business, is that you have to be agile. So one thing which I feel, apart from your domain knowledge, you need to upgrade and upskill yourself to ensure that you are at par with the changing environment. Okay, so learning should never stop. Now, what kind of learning could come into play? One is your own respective domain that you should do. Two is what we have realized is that spending a good time in actually ability to communicate. Most misunderstanding happens when not able to communicate what you're thinking. So you're spending your time in terms of communication, understanding the soft skill part, the communication part, the presentation skills. These are very important skills. How do you play with data visualization? These are all important skills. Today it's an era of storytelling. How do you communicate your vision with data, and storytelling with data is absolutely very important. So this is one important skill set that you have. Two is the interpersonal skill of working with co-people. Okay, so where see each, you have to realize that each and every personality will be very different. You will not get somebody whom you like, and now human nature is that you will like to have interact with personality who behave like you.
Yes.
You like to hire people who are like you.
Yes.
One of my very important learning which I had in Oxford was that you will never be a complete man. The complete man is a myth. Savgun sampan koi nahi hota.
Correct.
Okay,
True.
Bhagwan ke alawa. So what you have, you will have a skill set. So if I have a skill set, say I have a personality of I'm good at number, I'm good at people, I'll marry with the skill set or have skill set which is opposite to mine, who is good in executing things, doing things, who is good at creative thinking. So you have to create a system or people who have those kind. Now once you have got those people at a young stage, they may lack those ability. You have to identify what skill set they need to and keep upskilling them on those areas.
Yes, absolutely true. Now, another question which is coming into my mind here is like networking is a key where you're talking about that skills, identifying people, getting across to them together. Now, again, like most of our budding entrepreneurs, even our young audiences, they would be really would like to understand like how to develop and nurture these relationship networks which might be helping them in their careers.
Very true. See, when you are networking, one of the key requirement of networking is you have to first learn to give.
Oh, yes.
ओके
True.
आप हमेशा लेने की सोचेंगे ना नेटवर्क से, सो यू विल पीपल विल अंडरस्टैंड दैट एंड दे विल साइलेंटली अवॉइड यू.
Yes.
So whenever I meet somebody in my network group, whether it's business community, in my team member, in my family fraternity, I actually try to understand how can I value add to the people's life.
People's
What is this thing that I could do? In that general casual discussion when it comes up, we I think of actually first giving. And with that giving attitude, when you've actually helped somebody, he feels morally responsible and he feels कि okay यार I need to give him back. So that's how it works. The ecosystem is very strange. The moment you start giving, you automatically start receiving a lot.
True, absolutely true. Like, in fact, if I see it over traditionally, our thought process also has to be कि we have to incline towards giving.
True.
है ना? And whatever you give, it comes back to us. Absolutely true. है ना? Uh, Tanvir, like, can you tell us some of the worst phases of your this 10-year journey that you are going to have? And
Uh,
then how you came out of that,
See,
those things?
very good question. See, the to be very honest, actually, on like you said, on a hindsight, when you're successful, people look at success. I've had my own set of failures, and those failures has a reason. When I was working with IDFC Mutual Fund as director and head retail sales, कभी कभी क्या होता है ना, you get a biased opinion about yourself.
Yes.
Biased opinion in the sense that when you become successful, you realize that it is me who is responsible for all the success. Okay, and one of the series I was talking about seeing this, he's saying लगता है मैं ही खुदा हूँ. That was feeling that comes. But in reality, it is not so. When I was head of retail sales and I was very successful, I had the marketing who had the support. I had the infrastructure. I had people who were reporting to me directly. Each one of them are so successful in their own life. Their effort also led to my success. The marketing budget, the resources that I have, when I went back, I actually got a root shock, kind of a slap on my face that I don't have all these resources to me.
Yes. True.
So one has to realize and be cognizant of the fact when you're starting a journey, especially from a corporate like entrepreneurship, these luxuries will not be available.
Will not be.
And in the initial, so this because of that actually wrong self-assessment in a way, the first 18 months was absolutely very pathetic for me. One of the worst phase of my life. Okay, when I felt everything was going wrong. So the mandate, I could not judge the software guy well. So first mistake I did as an entrepreneur was I started a fintech company without a tech co-founder. That was a big blunder, I think. The second mistake was that I actually trusted somebody at face value. Okay, and I should have done more better due diligence with that. So that led to my big failure. So, but there are these two phases was very. Third thing is that because of not being managing cash flow so frequently on your previous job, you get a second thought of it and you let the cash flow run the way it was. That was the three big mistakes that I made, and I think that was the worst phase of my life actually.
True, 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 true. Whenever we are talking about the overall entrepreneurship, like there are always going to be these ups and downs which are going to be there. And definitely, like for all my budding entrepreneurs who are actually watching and understanding this, don't worry about it. There are going to be the ups and downs when there are going to ways when you're going to figure it out. And definitely, there's a lot of learning which comes across from the failures. I'm pretty sure you would also have set across certain goals for your company. Like everybody fancies that there's going to be 100 crore mark, there's going to be $1 million company, a unicorn or something like that. So, like, what's your goal?
See, basically, as I said, we are breaking down our goals in a short compartment. So our last year we had carved out a 10x goal kind of a thing. So we've doubled from last year also. So our goal of getting to 100 crore revenue by financial year 25-26, yes, 25-26 is something which we want to. No, my apology. 24-25.
24, 25. Okay.
So this will be 23-24 and 24-25. Yeah.
Mhm.
So our target is to get to about 100 crore revenue. Obviously, we want to retain a margin that way. So by about 24-25, that's the mark that we have. And if I look at a bigger vision, is what we have. We actually want to impact the life of about at least 10 million customers by 2030. That's the long-term vision that we have. But the immediate goal is this.
True. That's good. You actually are able to quantify your goals, and that helps across in the achievement plan of their particular goals. A lot of startups today, like they face a lot of challenges and lot of things come into the news also. It is regarding the funds that the companies raise, and they make a lot of profit, and then they say, this I'm becoming unicorn, this investor I'm getting, this investment I'm getting. What's your review point regarding this? Do you think it is really essential to have those investments, or there could be some other way out also?
See, I'm not a big fan of actually raising money at an early stage. My belief is that if you have a good business model, the business model should help you survive. Okay, and it is only for growth you should raise capital. If you are not able to fund that accelerated growth, I'm not against fund rate, but I feel that the money should be rightfully used for an accelerated growth rather than establishing the business model. देखिए, पहले भी बिजनेस कंपनी सेटअप होती थी. बहुत से कंपनीज पहले उन्होंने भी सेट किया है, एंड दे हैव एस्टैब्लिश्ड द बिजनेस विदाउट रेजिंग मनी. अभी एक फैड हो गया कि इफ यू रेजिंग मनी दैट इज साइन ऑफ सक्सेस. So I will not raise that. Please pardon my view, but my view is a little different. I feel that growth should be meaningful. वरना आपके बॉडी में कैंसर सेल भी ग्रो करता है.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and that cancer cell is not good. Okay, so a lot of these enterprise I've realized what they are making a mistake is they are trying to establish too much focus on the product, not on the business model, and you burn a lot of money trying to make that viable. I am against this idea. I don't want to build a business for VC or any people who's going to fund me. I want to build the business for a cause, and that cause is helping people achieve the life goal. And I can only do that if I am self-sustaining. जैसे aircraft में आप जाते हैं ना, इसे if the oxygen level goes down, this mask will drop. Please help yourself before assisting anybody.
Yes.
So if I am not able to assist myself in sustaining them, how can I assist in a bigger cause? So my belief is that you should raise money at the right time for the right cause, and if you can bootstrap and you can survive without it, nothing like it. So my role model would be rather a Zeroda or a Zoho than any VC funded which has tons of losses.
True, absolutely true. Most of the startup face another challenge, like identifying a right business model for themselves. Like there are so many things which are happening across, and the market is so much cluttered. I've seen across like the startups, and even when we are taking the classes also, the discussions comes around that already there's a lot of options which are there. So how to find a winning proposition within those things, and definitely you have into financial area, so it is more difficult there also. So how did you do it, and what are the tips that any other person should actually follow?
See, I have always focused that we should be able to have a good business model which is self-sustaining. And the reason I'll tell you, unfortunately, the startup ecosystem only gives example for the like of Facebook or those kind of companies where they started without a business model, they built a great tech, and then they have become a profitable company, they're growing very fast. But see, unfortunately, the example of those successful business model which arrived later on, is only very far and few. उस अगर 5 कंपनी सक्सेसफुल हुआ उसके अगेंस्ट 5,000 कंपनी फेल हो गई है. यू आई मीन पीपल डोंट लुक एट दैट. So my advice would be कि first get the business model right. If you are doing that business, how are you going to be successful? How are you going to survive if you don't raise funds? If you have that answer, it means you are building your own endurance. So I run half marathon. I am a long distance runner. So when you are able to run long distance, one thing you have to decide. I make a very clear goal that I am not competing with anybody in my ecosystem. I'm running my own race. So in business also I have the same philosophy. I am only chasing my own goals. I am not in competition with it. I have get compared with a lot of people. Say, oh, Grow is raised so much, become a unicorn. This company is raising so much money. I always appreciate it. Great, they're a great company. They have done well. But I am running my own race. That's one part. And two, I have felt that if your endurance is good, you can run for a long business is about a long distance marathon. It's not a 100-meter sprint. Okay, so to run that long distance on your own individual capacity, not on a steroid or any other thing, you need to build your own endurance, and all endurance get built because of a good robust business model and not without anything else.
True. This is a major challenge which is there, and what Tanvir has rightly pointed out, that we need to find our own enduring ways. We need to actually rediscover ourselves. And this is what I feel across. Entrepreneurship is actually a journey where you discover yourself. It's not about challenging others, it's about challenging your own self. So it is actually a journey where you yourself explore your strengths, your weaknesses, and you are really able to find a direction for your own self. And entrepreneurship is not you're doing for your own self, it is for your entire family, community, society in general. Okay, na? So what's your last concluding advice that you like to give across to new entrepreneurs or even to the corporate guys who actually have having that dream कि नहीं बहुत टाइम होगा कॉर्पोरेट के अंदर, अब मैं जाके कुछ अपना करता हूँ.
So, one very important thing, unless you get something that is going to impact people's life, don't quit for the heck of it. Two, you will have to do your own self analysis ki to what extent are you willing to sweat. Okay, if you are really passionate about actually that cause, देखिए क्या होता है ना, when you it's different to write a cause in paper, and it's different to go and actually go and live for that cause for 5, 10, 20, 15 years. Okay, because one day you can fake, 2 days you can fake, but you can't fake for 10 years. Okay, so that passion has to be here. You should be really charged about that passion or the things that you want to do. If you have that in you and you have thought about a good business model, then try to get at least 2 or 3 good kind of people who will come with you together, like-minded people who will come. Like-minded by means with different skill set. If you are a non-tech guy, take a tech guy. Okay, but like-minded who also would be charged with a similar vision and goals. Okay, once you have those things done up, then you actually can build up a business model and you can run that company. But write down everything. Please do not keep it here. My one very important learning is then I actually write down each and every plan every year that I write down, and I keep back and compare myself ki how have I done, to the point that I self rate myself ki I've done this year average, good, bad. So I do that myself. So writing in itself helps you achieve. And there's a beautiful book written by Mark McCormack, What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School.
Yes.
So it talks about planning. So it says ki they did a research of 100 students, and they asked only 2 set of questions. One was, do you have a goal in mind? And the second question, do you have a written plan to achieve that goal? So 84% of the people, they said neither they had goal nor they had a written plan. 13% of the people vaguely had a goal but no written plan. only 3% of the people had a goal and a written plan around it. So the same writer or researcher goes back to the same set of Harvard people after 10 years. And the only yardstick to evaluate how they've done was the net worth. So the first set of people who did not have a goal or a plan achieved, say, assume 100 rupees. The second set of people, by virtue of having a goal in mind, achieved 200 rupees net worth. And the third set of people who had a goal and a written plan around it, the net worth was average 3000. So that's the gap. So you have to write your plan. Everything has to be documented in a way that helps you actually build the business. So writing a plan increases your probability of success by miles, but drastically.
That is a wonderful note on which we would like to close. Tanvi, thank you very much for sparing time and being here with us. Your company has been doing great, and definitely under your leadership and your direction, I'm pretty sure the 100 crore mark is not a very big thing to achieve, and definitely we are looking for more hundreds to be added into this particular journey. So thank you very much. Thanks to all our audiences, and thanks to the IMT CDL technical team also for making this entire thing really the thought process to be applicable and giving a life to this entire idea.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you, IMT CDL, for having me here. It was a wonderful experience, not only learning, but sharing that the learnings is also a great experience here.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.